Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to. Gentlemen, it is now in order to consider amendment number 2, printed in Part D of House Report 118-108. For what purpose does the gentleman from Massachusetts seek recognition?
Mr. Chair, I have an amendment at the desk.
The clerk will designate the amendment.
Amendment number 2, printed in Part D of House Report number 118-108, offered by Mr. McGovern of Massachusetts.
Pursuant to House Resolution 495, the gentleman from Massachusetts, Mr. McGovern, and a member opposed each will control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Massachusetts.
Mr. Chair, I rise in support of my amendment to H.R. 1640, which would add an important provision to ensure that nothing in this bill would harm U.S. energy security. And before I share with my colleagues why this amendment is necessary, I want to take a minute to say what an exercise in absurdity this week in the House has been. With everything going on in the world, we are considering nonsense bills about imaginary threats. That's the best that this Republican majority could muster. Bills that are written so poorly, they wouldn't even fake solve the fake problems they're making up to scare people. But in the case of H.R. 1640, this bill could do real damage. The Biden administration is not trying to ban gas stoves, period. But instead of just acknowledging that and moving on, my Republican friends are pretending that the administration is trying to ban them through an energy efficiency proposal that would save consumers money and improve America's energy security. Consumers and experts recognize that energy efficiency is a key component of energy security. It's simple. If you can cook the same exact way with less gas, that means we are more energy secure. I have heard for years from Republicans that they care about energy security. This vote is an opportunity for them to prove it. This amendment contains a do no harm provision which says that the bill should not take effect until the Secretary of Energy certifies that it would not have a negative impact on U.S. energy security. So this is simple. This amendment is a chance to affirm, in a bipartisan way, that Congress should be strengthening our energy security, not weakening it. I urge support of this amendment, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. For what purpose does the gentlewoman from Arizona seek recognition?
I rise to claim the time in opposition to the amendment.
The gentlewoman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield myself such time as I may consume. I rise in opposition to this amendment, which is nothing more than an attempt to delay implementation of the underlying bill. Secretary Granholm could simply say that my bill affects energy security, even though it doesn't. The Biden administration's ban on gas stoves is the result of the Democrats' war on natural gas. They want to force a transition away from affordable and reliable energy by banning the products that Americans use every day. Department of Energy's gas stove ban is actually the energy security threat. Because it is not economically justified, it will not result in a significant saving of energy, and it will reduce consumer choice for natural gas kitchen ranges and ovens, and its goal is to eliminate the use of natural gas, which is used to support America's energy security. Natural gas kitchen ranges and ovens are currently the preferred choice of 40% of American households. Nearly 187 million Americans use natural gas because it is affordable and reliable. According to industry estimates, homes with natural gas appliances save up to $1,068 per year compared to all electric homes. Natural gas stoves are affordable, reliable, and widely popular. I urge my colleagues to oppose this amendment and support the underlying bill, the Save Our Gas Stoves Act. I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentlewoman reserves. The gentleman is recognized.
Mr. Chair, if energy security is as important to Republicans as they say it is, this should be a no-brainer. Because why would they bring a bill to the floor that could possibly weaken our energy security? I suspect there might be something else at play here. It's possible that the majority knows exactly what this bill would actually do, and they're eager to steamroll U.S. energy security and make consumers pay through the nose. Why do I think that? Because that's exactly what big oil and the fossil fuel lobby wants. Follow the money. Google their donations. If Republicans really care about energy security, they wouldn't all have voted against the Inflation Reduction Act last year, the single most ambitious bill on energy security that Congress has ever considered. If Republicans really care about energy security, they wouldn't have voted against millions of new clean energy jobs that will make us truly energy independent. With this vote, let's see what my Republican colleagues care more about: America's energy security or helping big oil and gas billionaires rake in more profits on the backs of our constituents. I'm sure my Republican friends will be generously compensated for their efforts here today. How sad, how pathetic. I urge everybody to follow the money. I urge a yes vote on this amendment. I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. The gentlewoman from Arizona.
Thank you. Again, I urge a no vote on this amendment. Even my Democratic colleagues admit that the Department of Energy is now saying that less than 50% of gas stoves would qualify for the new proposed rule. So more than 50% of the existing models of gas stoves would be banned. So with that, I urge a no on this amendment, and I yield back the balance of my time.
The question is on the amendment offered by the gentleman from Massachusetts. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. No. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. The amendment is...
Mr. Chair, I ask for...
The gentleman from Massachusetts...
I ask for a recorded vote.
Pursuant to Clause 6, Rule 18, further proceedings on the amendment offered by the gentleman from Massachusetts will be postponed. It is now in order to consider Amendment Number 3, printed in Part D of House Report 118-108. For what purpose does the gentleman from New Jersey seek recognition?
To speak in support of the amendment, Mr. Chairman.
Does the gentleman offer his amendment?
Yes, I have an amendment at the desk.
The clerk will designate the amendment.
Amendment Number 3, printed in Part D of House Report Number 118-108. Offered by Mr. Pallone of New Jersey.
Pursuant to House Resolution 495, the gentleman from New Jersey, Mr. Pallone, and a member opposed, each will control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from New Jersey.
Yield myself such time as I may consume, Mr. Chairman. There are many problems with the Save Our Gas Stoves Act. One of the biggest issues, in my opinion, is that this bill not only prevents the Department of Energy from finalizing a common-sense proposed efficiency standard, but it also limits future DOE rulemaking. H.R. 1640 includes Congressional Review Act-style language blocking, and I quote, any substantially similar rule. This is designed to ensnare future related rules in a messy legal and linguistic trap. This language provides no clarity on what a substantial similar rule means and could hamstring the Department of Energy on future cooktop and stove efficiency standards. The bill also amends the Energy Policy and Conservation Act to limit and complicate future Department of Energy rulemaking on cooktops and gas stoves. The bill imposes an additional hurdle in the DOE rulemaking process and could impact future cooktop standards regardless of fuel type. If this bill becomes law, it will negatively impact the Department of Energy's ability to issue effective energy conservation standards related to cooktops and stoves going forward. And this would also significantly impact DOE's ability to reduce energy energy bills and/slash carbon emissions. Now, my amendment to H.R. 1640 strikes these harmful and open-ended provisions from the bill and limits the application of the bill only to the current proposed Department of Energy standard. While I still strongly oppose blocking the current rule, it is critical that we not impede future Department of Energy action. So I urge all my colleagues to support this important amendment, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman from New Jersey reserves. Gentleman, for what purpose does the gentlewoman from Arizona seek to be recognized?
Thank you. I rise to claim the time in opposition to the amendment.
The gentlewoman from Arizona is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield myself such time as I may consume. This amendment strikes the language preventing the Department of Energy from implementing any substantial similar rule. Removing this language would allow the Department of Energy to just reissue another gas stove ban after my bill becomes law. I rise in opposition to this amendment, which strikes important language in the underlying bill. That language would prevent the Department of Energy from reissuing a nearly identical rule to ban gas stoves. H.R. 1640 allows the Department of Energy to issue energy efficiency standards that are cost-effective and that have a significant amount of energy for consumers. This is the current standard under the Energy Policy and Conservation Act, and H.R. 1640 does nothing to change that. The Biden administration's politically motivated proposal to ban a majority of gas stoves violates the statutory requirements of EPCA because it fails to save consumers money or energy and because it removes products from the market simply because they use natural gas. The Energy and Commerce Committee held hearings on this and conducted oversight. The facts are clear that the Department of Energy should withdraw this misguided rule, and DOE should be prohibited from reissuing a substantially similar rule. For these reasons, I urge my colleagues to oppose this amendment and support the underlying bill, the Save Our Gas Stoves Act, and I reserve.
Woman from Arizona reserves. The gentleman from New Jersey is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me just say, I find it incredible that the Republicans want to just take away all ability of the Department of Energy to deal with efficiency standards, not only for gas stoves, for electric stoves. Remember that this rule doesn't just apply to gas stoves or cooktops, it applies to electric stoves as well. And any fair reading of this legislation makes it clear, in my opinion, that not only are they banning and overturning this rule, but overturning anything else that's within the sphere of efficiency for cooktops, whether they be gas stoves or electric stoves or anything of that nature. So again, I think it's a huge overreach. I, of course, oppose the underlying bill as well, but it's a huge overreach to say that the Department of Energy can't deal with this efficiency issue when it comes to stove of whatever type in the future, because that's what their job is, to deal with these efficiency standards, and they've been doing it very effectively to save money and to be innovative. So for those reasons, I would ask for the support of my amendment, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back the balance of my time.
The gentleman yields back. The gentlewoman from Arizona is recognized.
Thank you. Yes, indeed, the energy efficiency standards deal with both gas and electric stoves. The problem is that it disproportionately would ban the majority of gas stoves, not electric stoves. That takes away consumer choice. That's why I had to do this bill, and that's why I oppose this amendment, and I yield back the balance of my time.
The question is on the amendment offered by the gentleman from New Jersey. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair...
Mr. Chairman, I would ask for a recorded vote on my amendment.
In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it. For what purpose does the gentleman rise?
Mr. Chairman, I would ask for a recorded vote on my amendment.
Pursuant to Clause 6 of Rule 18, further proceedings on the amendment offered by the gentleman from New Jersey will be postponed. For what purpose does the gentlewoman